Is up? It is Dixon back with another edition of 95X Live, and today I get the pleasure of speaking with the band known as Late Night Drive Home. How are you, gentlemen?
Pretty good. Just currently in our transit right now.
Getting ready to hit the road a little bit, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
Very
yeah.
cool. So the single is called Stress Relief. We're featuring it in our drop all week long at noon. The response has been great so far. You've also got an EP out. It's called I'll Remember You for the Same Feeling You Gave Me as I Slept. And I'm not sure why, but the title to your EP kind of feels like a hug, and I love it.
Oh dude. Hell yeah. That's so fucking cool.
Uh,
Um sorry.
where did you guys come up with such an eloquent title?
Our guitarist actually came up with the title for that. We were brainstorming ideas in Josh's room? Josh's house. Our friend Josh's house. And I don't know, yeah, you can
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like the same feeling you get as that when phones sleep. It's the only time you cannot reach a certain person because there's something that you can't stop. It's a natural human cycle. So like I don't know. There's a lot of metaphors with death as well in the EPs. It's not
Oh
like
yeah.
nice to get it. But something that you can't really control when it comes to like having someone around you.
Absolutely. And I love, and listen, the EP is fantastic. The single is phenomenal as well. I love what's happening in the music industry right now. And I know that this word is so overused, but I don't know that there's a better word to describe what's going on right now. But you guys have provided a vibe with this, right? And it's coming on the heels of other artists that are doing very vibey things, right? Like I almost feel like Tame Impala, Glass Animals set the table for artists like yourselves and Ocean Alley.
Oh
Joe
wow.
is seeing a lot of success right now. Your hometown compadres in Cigarettes After Sex are
Oh
having
yeah.
a moment as well. So
Oh
to
yeah.
me, it's great to see that a lot of the bluster of what was happening at radio is starting to dissipate, and we can actually sit with a vibe and just kind of like get ready for spring and summer because you guys
Oh
provide the
yeah.
soundtrack to that.
Dude, thank you so much. We try. I feel like we've heard that our music is like a soundtrack to like to a movie. Like
I'm going to be.
yeah, coming of age movie or something. We get that like a lot.
I would honestly say that most of your music would be at home, like on the soundtrack to a show like Euphoria, because I feel like it speaks perfectly to the nature of that. There's a cinematic element to what you guys do. And I also think that with the way the industry and technology has changed since I was your age, right? That young people are discovering music in a new way. And we're seeing artists kind of blow up from what we call syncs, right? Like when your song ends
Yeah.
up in a commercial or a show or a movie.
Oh yeah.
I love that like young people don't have to do what my generation did, which was like steal magazines from places that had Maximum Rock and Roll order
Oh
sheet
yeah.
in the back, right? For like a distro and stuff. And you can actually just kind of find what you like or get turned on to some new stuff simply by clicking a couple of buttons on your device.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It definitely comes in handy. I mean, I feel like that's how most of us developed our taste in music just growing up with the technology that we have right now.
Very cool. How much would you say, especially given the fact that I discovered over the weekend that Cigarettes After Sex is also El Paso based? Me being Gen X, right? Like El Paso, I think of like Gibby Haynes from the Butthole Surfers. I think of like the three founding members of At the Drive-In, and then
Yeah.
obviously, um, looking at like the Mars Volta and Sparta when that splintered. So for me to see that there's two bands in a similar lane that are
Uh-huh.
existing in a space that was so like art punk in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how El Paso's changed and what the scene there is like.
It's honestly something. It's honestly something special. I'd say when we first started playing shows, there was definitely like a movement, a little wave happening in El Paso, and we had just gone back from COVID, and everybody was just like just excited to go out.
Everybody wanted to hear music.
Yeah,
We came in the perfect time and started performing shows in El Paso.
yeah, but it's definitely still like I would like punk at its core.
Very alternative as
Uh-huh.
well. Like you have a lot of, like youth that are just making bands or making music out there performing shows.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's to like 5 people or 100 people, everybody's just there making art and performing and more than just trying to reach a crowd.
Yeah, it also makes me like kind of happy just knowing that I guess there's like two artists who are kind of like in the same like heading towards the same direction. Like it, I would like kind of hope to have like inspired people from El Paso to like pave their own way like that as well.
Absolutely, man. There's nothing like being like a hero in your hometown when success starts to happen. It just feels a little bit more real when your privacy gets invaded walking down
Yeah.
the street and somebody's like, "Hey, I know you." But it's only going to get more invasive as time goes on because you guys are definitely on to something. And I assume you guys are looking very forward to summer, right? Because Shaky Knees and Coachella are on your
Yes.
tour docket.
Oh
I'm
yeah. Oh
your
yeah.
first time with both festivals?
Oh, our first time with any festival.
Okay. So this
Mhm.
is this is going to be almost like training to a degree, especially since you're playing two of the bigger ones right off the cuff.
Oh yeah. But we're so excited. I feel like we've been on what, three tours? Three tours already. Going on, this is our fourth one. Going on four tours, and just seeing like the level of confidence from our first tour to like now it's insane to see. Like I don't think we would have ever thought that we would be here.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are here and continuing to carry on this alternative music movement that has really sort of gotten legs under it. Um, I know that you guys are headed to Europe in September as well. Is this your first journey across the pond, so to speak?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The furthest we've been, Mexico City or Canada.
You play Vancouver.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you can't go wrong in Vancouver. If I was still
Oh
allowed
yeah.
in Canada, that would be optimal, like spot one. Um, so for me, growing up in seeing the Epitaph logo on a record
Uh-huh.
kind of meant it was a punk rock thing, right? I grew up a staunch Bad Religion fan, and
Oh
Greg, being
yeah.
one of the founders, like that was a label that I would look for in used record stores, knowing that if that Epitaph logo was on it, the chances are it was pretty good. And now seeing Epitaph wrap its arms around non-punk rock things like yourselves and
Oh
Roku
yeah.
and seeing success with that, it's almost like a full circle moment for me that Epitaph started out with me when I was a punk rock kid and they were a punk rock
Yeah.
label. And now everybody's kind of diversified and grown into this kind of all-encompassing entity. Were you
Oh
guys
yeah.
Epitaph fans at all growing up? Did you have an awareness of it? How stoked are you to be on the label now?
We're super stoked to be on the label. I think the band that I know that they had like and is like very influential to me was Weezer. Um, but like as corny as it is, like Weezer paved the way like for me to discover like many new artists that I listen to like nowadays. But um, it's crazy. It's just a crazy feeling like being part of a label that has so much like presence to it.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited. This is Late Night Drive Home. Their single is called Stress Relief. You'll hear it all week long at noon in the drop. If you want to hear it more than that, obviously, shoot us a direct message on Instagram or Facebook. Call us 315-421-9595. You can even text in your request 315-629-9570. Best way to get your favorite new artist played on the radio is to request them constantly. Um, and I think you guys are on to something here. I can't wait to see what comes next. This EP is
Thank you so much.
absolutely stellar. And I look forward to what the future holds for you guys. So thank you so much for taking the time today. I'll let you guys get on your way onto this leg of the tour, and hopefully at some point, maybe later this year, we can get you up here into the Northeast and into
Oh yeah.
Syracuse for a live show because I would love that.
Yeah, dude, of course. Let us know,
Awesome.
man.
Very
Anytime.
cool. I
But
appreciate
yeah,
that.
thanks for having us on.